Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Handmade by Gardena, and I'm Gardena, of course. Today I am working on my challenge on Paper Possibilities Crazy Crafters, and it's an event held by Jeanette Thomas, and it's a January's multimedia challenge, and there's 10 picks, but you can swap out 2 of the picks. And number one was to add glitter paint, which I don't have glitter paint. I have every color of paint that you could probably think of except for glitter paint. So what I used was Stickles, and I used the Glisten, and I put 5 things up that looks like snowflakes. And number 2 was use a stencil and wipe an area with a baby wipe, and I did that 3 times here with numbers and stamp background, and these flowers here are my stamp background, and I just used black archival ink. Use fluid acrylic paint, that is the light blue, the teal, and the purple. Fling paint, which we're going to do that here in just a minute. Use old book pages, and I have an Edith Holden book page here, and here I have really old book page that Tracy May had given me in a challenge that I won here, along through here and here, and this music page she had given me. And I have some old book pages here and here, and it's in a different language. Okay, rub-ons. This is my rub-on, is here. It says Picture Perfect. Add ephemera. I added a Tim Holtz person. Use metallic paint. I used copper here, and I used my Deerfoot Stippler all along the bottom and just dry brushed it on there. And use ribbon, and I didn't want to use a ribbon, so I swapped it out with this right here. And it's a sticker right here. So that's the 2 that I swapped out, was the glitter paint for the stickles and the ribbon for this sticker right here. And I've been watching a lot of people do this challenge, and I noticed that they have been having some trouble with flinging paint, and I have not that I'm saying that I'm an expert, by far I am no expert, believe me, I am not, but I've took some painting classes, and I still do take painting classes, and the best way to fling paint is if you have a fan brush, and this is what is called a fan brush, is they look like this. They look like a little fan. Sorry, I got glue and everything. They look like a fan. And then here's my palette, and I'm going to fling the black, and what you want to do is you want to get your paint really, really wet. Your acrylic paint really wet. You want to make it really thin. And then you just take your finger and just splash it. Put it closer to the page if you want bigger splashes, and further up if you want smaller splashes. And I normally do a little bit of both. That way I get different splashes, because I like them all different. And then this way here, you don't fling the paint most of the time. So, I mean, sometimes you still get it halfway across the room. Because I've had times where I have found paint in some weird places. I mean, I would go and take a shower after painting class and I would have paint in my hair. I mean, there was one time, I have to tell this story. We have this lady in one of our painting classes, and I love her to death. Her name is Lynn, and she has no arms, but she uses prosthetics. But we help her, and she uses her mouth to paint too. So I was helping her paint, and we were painting with black, and so I was helping her paint, and I had my paintbrush sitting there moving it around and everything, like I am now, which I'm getting paint everywhere. Moving it around, I'll get a clean one, that way you know what a fan brush looks like. Moving it around like this as I was talking to her, and I wasn't paying no attention, and I had black paint on my paintbrush, and I was sitting there painting her prosthetic black. Thank goodness it was acrylic paint and not oil paints. And we were able to wash it off. And me and her, we laughed and laughed and laughed until we cried. But for her to have no arms and her to paint with her mouth, some of her stuff is better than any of our stuff in the class. She is amazing. And if it's something that she cannot do, she will keep working at it until she does it. And this lady is truly an inspiration. I love her to death. Her name is Lynn. She always has a smile on her face. I've never seen her sad or anything. I really love her to death. Her and her husband both. They're really good people. So if anyone says that they can't paint, then yes, they can, because she has an excuse to say, I can't paint because I have no arms or hands. She does it with her mouth. So, yes, you can. It just takes practice. But I just wanted to get on here and show some people and maybe an easier technique on how to fling paint without getting it everywhere, and to show my January multimedia challenge. And this is my January challenge. I sort of liked it. It was fun. I had a good time doing it. I can't do it all on camera because my camera doesn't film very long, and you have to wait for the process to dry in between and everything. But I think it turned out really good. I'm happy with it. It's something different from what I'm used to painting. I'm actually used to painting actual things, and sometimes I paint with what's the word I'm thinking of? Sometimes I paint with the pattern, and then sometimes I paint freehand. So I use different techniques. But I really enjoyed getting my paints out because it had been a while since I've painted, because our painting class has been canceled due to COVID. But if you have trouble flinging paint, get a fan brush. Just go out and buy you a cheap fan brush. You don't have to have a big expensive fan brush. And make sure that you wet your paint really, really good. Get it almost like a watery, runny, wet paint. And then just barely tap it with your finger. And that's how you'll fling your paint. And if you move closer, it makes bigger splotches. And if you move up higher, it makes smaller splotches. So Hope everyone has a good day. Keep spreading those smiles. Keep making yourself smile. Keep thinking of those positive thoughts every day. And I will see you later. Talk to you all later. Goodbye.